Hello everybody, and this is Narendra Kumar from NRK Academy, and today we are going to have a wonderful lesson. It is 7th C today, and the lesson is Unity in Diversity in India. This is a very common topic, and it has been written very beautifully. Let's start the lesson right away. India, a country of many ethnic groups, ethnic means small, region groups, is a land of myriad language. M-Y-R-I-A-D. M-Y-R-I-A-D. Myriad means many. Language. A veritable Babel of tongues. Veritable, too much. Veritable Babel of tongues and too many, numerous modes of apparel. Apparel means wearing, clothing. For the most part, the continental dimensions of the country account for these variations and diversities. Besides, there are several religions, sects and beliefs. But there are certain common links and uniting bonds that people have sought to develop in order to achieve the eminently, wonderful, most important, eminently desirable goal of unity amidst diversity. Amidst means among, between. It is true that superficial observers are likely to be bewildered. Anyone who comes from outside will be bewildered, which means very surprised by the astonishing variety of Indian life. So you can imagine someone coming from another country where there's only one language, one kind of people, everything, and they come here, they go to Andhra and then they go to Tamil Nadu, it's different. You go to Karnataka, it's different. Go to Kerala, it's different. You go to the north and south and west and east, everything, so many different kinds of people and languages and sects and beliefs and castes. So it's all so confusing for a new person. They fail, but he says they fail to discover the one in many, the individual in the aggregate, the simple in the composite. So it's not so complicated. There is a simple, there's an individual there. With them, the whole is lost in its parts. The whole is not seen, only the parts are seen. What is needed is a superior interpretation, synthesis of the power of the mind that can give rise to a vision of the whole. You have to see the whole thing, that is India, not see only the parts. A keen, penetrating means goes deep inside. Penetrating insight will not fail to recognize the fundamental unity beneath the manifold means manifold variety in India. This manifold variety in India, many varieties of things in India, but beneath it there's a fundamental unity. The diversity itself, far from being a damaging cause of disunity and weakness, is a fertile, rich in soil, fertile source of strength and wealth. So he says diversity also of India is very good. Sir Herbert Risley has rightly observed, and this is a statement: beneath the manifold diversity of physical and social types, languages, customs, and religions which strike the observer in India, they can still be discerned, seen. Discern means grasped, observed. A certain underlying uniformity of life from the Himalayas to Cape Comorin. So you can see the same Indian. From his long and first-handed experience in India, Vincent A. Smith says that the civilization of India, and now this is a statement, has many features which differentiate it from that of the other regions of the world. While they are common to the whole country in degree sufficient to justify its treatment as a unity in the history of human, social and intellectual development. Even the early Indian history unmistakably, without any doubt, shows that the political consciousness of the people has from the very early times grasped the whole of India as a unit and assimilated the entire area as the theatre of its activities. So all this is one. Whole means one. India is not a mere geographical expression. It's not just a geography. Nor is it a mere collection. You just put things together of separate peoples, traditions and conventions. India is much more than this. That's true. You go to India, anywhere in India, he's an Indian. You can recognize an Indian. Though he's a Gujarati or a Marathi or a Bengali, he's an Indian first. The best proof lies in the fact that Indian history has quickened into life. Indian history has become life. India has many races, castes, subcastes, nationalities, and communities. But the heart of India is one. So he talks about the heart of India. We are all heirs, Heirs, which means coming from top, inherited. Heirs to a common and rich culture. So we are all heirs, we have come from there. Our cultural heritage consists of our art and literature as they flourished centuries ago. Our cultural heritage serves as a bond of unity between people of different faiths and creeds. Even people with different religions, faith means religion, and are almost same, are Indians first. The streams of different cultures have flowed into our subcontinent to make us what we are and what we will be. There were Dravidians in India before the coming of the Aryans, and Hinduism is a blend of the cultures of the north and the south. India has 150 dialects, different types of speaking, and 22 recognized regional languages, but Hindi, like English, has come to stay as the lingua franca of our nation, main language, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Mumbai to Nagaland. Hindi is now understood and is recognized as a national language of India. India has a rich cultural heritage. We are inheritors of several grand treasures in the fields of music, fine arts, dance, drama, theatre, and sculpture. Our sages and seers, seers, means saints, have left behind a tradition of piety, piety, which is very pious, very serious, religious, penance, spiritual greatness, conquest of passion, etc. Conquest of passion. Here, passion means negative. Here, you are using passion as anger or temper or very negative qualities, revenge, feelings of revenge. We can control that. Our scriptures are the storehouses of spiritual wisdom. Our saints aspired to the realization of the infinite, the most blissful state that man can achieve. We have inherited great spiritual values, contrasted with which the materialistic progress of the West appears insignificant. So he says that the materialistic progress of the West, if you compare the material part with the spiritual part, there's so much of the spiritual part in India. The West has to learn a lot from India. And it has now been realized when people in the United States and Europe are turning to the Indian way of life. Indian yogis and maharishis, musicians and spiritual leaders have all attracted them in a big way. So you see Vivekananda, Ravi Shankar, and so many more. They have all gone to the West and educated the West. A significant move to project India's cultural unity has been the holding of festivals of India in various parts of the world. So in various parts of the world, from a long time, even from my childhood, there were festivals of India. The West is fast inclining towards our spiritual values, which include meditation and contemplation, charity and love, universal brotherhood and fear of God, piety and unselfishness, control of passions, and peace of mind. So these are all the great qualities in spiritual books and spiritual way of life. Our cultural unity is further exemplified by the temples of the south and of Khajuraho, the caves of Ajanta and Ellora, which are shining examples of India's proficiency in sculpture and architecture. So we have got fantastic sculpture and architecture. Our music has come to enjoy worldwide popularity. So they say that India's music is very complex and yet very simple, very beautiful, very deep, very soulful, and extraordinary, because it has been evolving. It has become so perfect. If you listen to classical music, and I'm a big fan of classical music, you will understand what I mean. Indian classical music, like the Indian dances, is built on the concept of ragas and talas. Each raga is regarded appropriate to a certain time of the day or the night or a mood. There are believed to be about 250 ragas in common use in the north as well as the south. So whether it's Carnatic music or Hindustani classical, almost the ragas are the same. In the modern times, people like Ravi Shankar have taken Indian music to the West and thus bridge the gap between the music of the East and the West. Now you have something called fusion music also. You have Anand Shankar and you have John McLaughlin. And there's so many more. Anushka Shankar, the daughter of Ravi Shankar, also does a lot of fusion music. So music has become universal now. Other significant features of India's cultural unity are the variety, color, and the emotional richness of its dances. The country abounds there are too many in tribal dances, old dances, as well as classical dances of great virtuosity. Virtuosity means high skill. If you see some dancers, great dancers like Shobha Naidu, Shobana, Malika Sarabhai, or Milani Sarabhai, her mother, or many more, like Sonal Mansingh. I can go on giving names like that. When you look at their dances, you wonder what kind of skill is being exhibited. You're just mesmerized and you're taken to another world. So that is virtuosity. Virtuosity. Throughout India, need is regarded not merely as an accompaniment to social intercourse, but also as a mode of aesthetic expression and spiritual realization. So, dance and music is not just beauty, it's realizing one's soul, oneself. So, dance and music is deeply connected to spirituality in India. The great symbol of dance is Shiva, the cosmic dancer, depicted in sculpture and poetry as Nataraja. Shiva, the classical dancer. That's what cosmic dance. Cosmic dancer is a dancer. He's dancing to the rhythm of the world. Similarly, the classical theatre in India has a history of more than 2000 years. It is performed in palaces and in temples. The classical plays, dramas, combined music and dance. Tragedy was and is still discouraged otherwise. The range of themes covered is wide. It is this strand of cultural unity running through the country that we are hired to. We are hired to. This is ours. It has come from our forefathers, and to which people in the West are increasingly turning now. Increasingly turning now means they're coming into this. They're taking it over. It is up to the younger generation to uphold this torch of cultural unity for the rest of the world to see, follow, and emulate. The rest of the world should learn from India. They should see, they should understand, they should follow and emulate. They should become like that and not get dazed by the superficial prosperity and material achievement of the West, where man has set foot on the moon in his quest for space travel, but finds himself isolated in his society and community. So here he gives a statement, a very strong statement. Americans have gone to the moon, but they are finding it tough to be close to each other. And that's really true. We have become so loveless. So the great achievement is going to the moon, but a greater achievement is still to come. The achievement of man becoming close to man. And that can happen only with spiritual realization, realization of oneself, realization and finding the bliss that is life. India is a whole huge depth of philosophical understanding and spirituality. And that can be, as he said, seen in music, in dance, even in dresses, in tribal folk, drama. So definitely India, no doubt about it, definitely India has got a rich cultural heritage, but we have to keep it up. We have to understand it, because if you don't understand India, India will be separated from Indians. So that is a wonderful lesson for today, the lesson of India as a unity and diversity. This is Narendra Kumar signing out.